right. Let's dale it up.
Hope I can remember this one.
Well, you don't need to because we're going to tell you all about it.
Good.
You're listening to Ka-Pow, the pop culture podcast.
Oh my God. Listen up, ragamuffins. We encourage each and every one of you to drink deeply from the cup that is Fair Riverdale.
Your hosts, Jordan, Cliff, and Seth.
Hobo. Pride of Hobo. Welcome to Thistle House. Shove it, Hal.
You know what that sound means. It's time for more Riverdale with your friends at Ka-Pow, the pop culture podcast. My name is Jordan Lowe.
I'm Cliff Barnes.
And I am the mysterious Jug Dub that comes in over your life, narrating every moment that happens. What is what episode are we doing now?
We're still in season 6, episode 12, from May 1st, 2022.
Oh, those are
coming in. Chapter 107, In the Fog.
Oh, what's funny is I don't allow myself to, like, if there's something I notice, I think I'd like to look that up and see if there was something I missed there, but I can't. I won't let myself because I know that I'll be spoiled on all kinds of stuff. I'm so far behind.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't look things up now, so we're all just flying by the seat of our pants. Well, yeah, again, like I said, the Jug Dub comes in. We get the weather reports were grim. But we had
just learned
yeah,
Armageddon is on the way.
Mm-hmm.
We're about to fight the final battle in Riverdale at Pops.
right. Yes, the we had a more dire prognostication to deal with. The apocalypse brought about by one Percival Pickens.
The weather reports were grim, but we had a more dire prognostication to deal with. The apocalypse. Brought about by one Percival Pickens. Maybe unavoidable, but we had to try.
So at Archie's house, Betty, Archie, Jughead, and Tabitha are planning a coup d'etat. Coup d'etat. Yes.
I'm thinking we stage a coup. Percival manipulated his way onto the council, and he's using it as a soapbox platform. So why don't we just knock him off it?
And what, we take over?
I mean, why not? What if the council refuses to step down?
Okay, if we are seriously going to attempt a coup d'etat, then we need to get public support. Veronica, Reggie, Tony, Fang, Cheryl.
Kevin, too. I don't think he's gone over completely to the dark side yet.
Let's reach out to folks and host a meeting.
We can do it at Pops. Tonight, after nightfall.
They're going to host a meeting at Pops at nightfall. Meanwhile, the Thunder was overhearing this. Alice Cooper heard this and slipped out the front door.
They're holding a secret meeting at the diner tonight. They're planning on overthrowing the council and appointing themselves the new town leaders.
I hate that she's a bad guy.
Yeah, I agree. I liked her when she was just making breakfast.
I liked her when she was hooking up with Skeet.
Yeah.
And like Serpent Alice. That's what I want. Bring back the serpents.
Agree.
Yes.
Agree. Hard agree. I want Serpent Alice.
Like half hour into this episode, my mind started to wonder, like, man, I miss FP.
No
She's
doubt.
not the same without him.
Yeah. FP Jones. So she goes to Percival at his whatever's needful things. This is a super Stephen King episode. Like they have 100 different Stephen King things going on.
I'm tired, Alice. I'm tired of these agitators.
I couldn't agree more, but I have an idea. So, the RIVW weather girl is out sick, and she has been going on and on about this fog rolling in, calling it the wrath of God. Maybe we use it to our advantage. Stop the meeting from happening and give you time to make your next move.
Purple is rubbing his monkey's paw. He's like dusting.
It looks like he's got like a hand of Vecna, which is a very D&D thing. But it was like, gosh, what? It's so funny.
I said PP now stand. These initials that we use. So PP's polishing his paw.
Yeah, she goes there to the RIVW weather girl is sick, and she's been going on and on about this fog that she calls the wrath of God that's rolling in, and ironically, the Thunder wants to use this fog to their advantage. The big weather thing there. So at Pops, Tabitha sees on their little tiny TV on the RIVW broadcast about the Thunder saying there's a curfew tonight now because of the fog, just like 100 years ago in 1922.
Some serious fog.
Another Stephen King reference, 1922. And Veronica has to close up the casino because everyone went home because of the fog. And then we see at the FBI, we got Agent Betty Cooper gets a message that a woman that escaped the trash bag killer wants to talk to her.
I had totally forgot about the whole FBI storyline. Completely.
Oh, when I heard TBK, I was like, oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
back
my
in it. Back in it. Oh, I was like, somebody's getting wanked. What are you doing? I guess going to the meet. Some of this I don't know. It's illegible. I get to meet an article. I don't think you can provide a safe. Oh, okay, yeah. This is Kevin was telling them that he didn't think they can provide a safe environment for the baby. This is TT and Fangs because they're serpents.
Yeah,
he doesn't like that they're serpents. So that never mattered before, but and TT is like he's like, what else do you want to talk about? We covered this, your serpents. She's like, well, you put yourself in dangerous sex situations with your cruising, like in Fox Forest. Was it Fox Forest? Is that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
Kevin Keller, KK, compulsive cruising.
Yes. So they are going to meet for dinner before the meeting tonight to talk about baby Anthony. Mumsy shows up in her
nun outfit.
Her flying nun outfit.
Nunsie.
There we go. I knew I was missing something. She shows up at Thornhill. You got to get these straight. This is Thornhill. Is everybody clear on that? Because I have a lot of trouble with Thornhill Thistle House, but this is Thornhill. This is the house that burnt down.
Yeah,
and they rebuilt it.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know when that happened, but that happened apparently. And she traveled the world, eventually finding herself in the Himalayas.
Mumsy? What are you doing here?
Dear child, may I come in? After you banished me from Thornhill, I traveled the world searching for sanctuary and eventually found myself in the Himalayas at the original convent of the Sisters of Quiet Mercy.
You've got to be kidding me.
She went to the
Himalayas have to be
better. The Dalai Lama, and he gave her eternal enlightenment. So she's got that going for me.
It's got to be better than wearing a wooden mask in the wall. Because that's what she was doing before.
She went to the original Sisters of Quiet Mercy.
I presented myself on their doorstep with nothing but the clothes on my back. And now the sisters have decided that I can pledge myself fully.
And Cheryl said they're
bringing it all back.
Yeah. She's like, they're letting in an ex-dominatrix convicted felon serial killer.
Serial killer?
They're going to let you
join
join
their convent.
The sisters believe in redemption, Cheryl. They've given me one weekend to attend to any unfinished business before I take my final vows. You are my unfinished business, Cheryl.
She's like, well, they sent me off to take care of any unfinished business. And so she's here to do that with Cheryl. But first...
Speak plainly, Mother.
I have a surprise for you. Something that I would like to give you. But first, I would love
like
a
a
hot
warm
bath
bath and a
and a
scrumptious
warm,
meal.
scrumptious meal.
It's like, yes,
Mother.
those are the lines I want. Throwaway lines about a scrumptious meal. Like, I couldn't wait.
Every time you come back into my life, you gaslight me.
I understand your skepticism, Cheryl. But every word that I've said is true.
Yes, fine. You can stay for supper, Sister Blossom.
Thank you, child. Bless you.
Back at Pops, Jughead has got his busboy uniform on, cleared tables because everybody went home because of the fog. And he wants to talk with Tabitha about another Stephen King book. Basically, he doesn't come out and say it, but 11/22/63. This is the plot they're working with now. She can time travel while in the proximity of Pops, which is a diner, and this is exactly like that book. He wants her to go back and stop Archie's bed bomb from going off because it really messed up his hearing all the way out in the garage. And now he hears people's thoughts and all that. But Tabitha says that is a fixed event. And the bomb always explodes no matter what she does. So she can't do anything about it. Well, he's like, well, maybe you could just at least get me out of the garage. Which I thought was funny. I didn't even think they would mention that he was in the garage. I was just sitting here thinking, oh, yeah, he was in the garage. That's what I was having. I'll never forget he was in the garage. No, they could definitely point that out. That was my laugh out loud moment of the episode when he mentioned the garage. But she says there's too many paradoxes and ripple effects. We get the Riverdale sign as the fog is rolling in. It says, welcome to Riverdale. You can't stop progress. The lights go out above the sign. We get the opening credits just now.
Yeah, that serious fog that takes out electricity to.
Yes. Whenever anybody's coupled up, especially. A lot of candles died to give us this episode.
That's my favorite thing of this whole episode. Is more candle. Every time somebody goes and gets candles, there's more candles.
Every room you go in, you have to reset up 1,000 candles. Betty goes to leave for the meeting, but it's super foggy outside, and there's some creep standing outside her house. So she goes out the back and goes next door, and Archie tells her the meeting's postponed anyway. So she tells him about the creep. He says, well, I'll go out there. I am invulnerable. Well, she says this creep might have palladium, so sit tight.
You never know.
So they go upstairs and bang it out instead. On the bomb bed, no doubt. She asks if they're dating. Are we dating? We just did it, but are we dating? And he's like, well, I'm not saying anybody else. She's like, that's good because I'm late. Which I thought when this came up, first thing I thought was, we are many seasons into the show and they never have used this. You know, all these kids having sex and they never really have used this other than the proverbial baby Anthony. Yeah, we haven't had all this. So I thought they showed some good hesitation to wait this far into the series to possibly have this happen. She hasn't been taking her pill since she was in the trash bag killer's well. So then the lights go out in the bedroom. At Pops, Tabitha thinks, what am I going to do when I lose him? She thinks to herself. And Jughead perks up and has heard her in his head. And he says, don't worry about Pops. He's going to be fine. She realizes he's listening to her thoughts when he shouldn't be. And he kind of explains, well, I can't hear.
Yeah.
They've
talked about this.
That's all the only way. Yeah, but they have to remind people he can't hear. So he doesn't know when to turn it on and off. That's how they communicate at all. So she's having to tell him what's on the news. But anyway, So it's tough. At Archie's, they light a bunch of candles. Okay. Betty's finally puts
And someone
up.
has to say it every time. As soon as the lights go, I was like, I'll get the candles. Or,
Oh yeah.
I've got some candles.
We know.
Yeah.
We know. Somebody is cleaning up on candles. She throws on a nice El Royale sweatshirt. Oh, Archie's asking details, trying to time up if he's going to be a senior Archie. He asks how'd you get away from the trash bag killer again? How'd you get away from TBK and BT Dubs? She says that TBK made her dismember a dead body with an electric carving knife, or she threatening her if she didn't do it, she was going to be the next dead body. So he turned on some classical music for her, and she cut it up.
Yeah, so this was like to prove he saw something in her or something. I was
they
like,
are the same.
This ain't the first dead body Betty's dismembered.
No,
come on.
Exactly. There's out there in the culvert. They're everywhere.
Oh, don't go digging up Carmel out of the yard.
Yeah.
Who knows what she did to that cat?
Stay out of Scuba Steve's junkyard.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so Archie says sometimes he feels like they should go west and just get away from this cursed town. But whenever he thinks that, he just remembers the reason he's there. He wants to save the soul of Riverdale. And the reason he bought Senior Archie's house was because he wants to be Senior Archie here and raise a family and all that. So this is all working out. They can do this. Reggie cleans out his desk at the Babylonia, and Veronica's just sitting there chilling, drinking some liquor. And he says, it's like a Stephen King movie out there. I said, yeah, on several of them. She invites him to stay, drink, not fight, maybe play some strip poker. It's like, well, this is escalated. The lights go out. She says, luckily, I have a serious penchant for drip chic candles. Back at Pop's, Jug asks Tabitha for some tubing. I did not know when he said that. What?
Yeah.
You need tubing for?
Siphon the gas.
I swear there are gas pumps right outside.
Yeah, it's a gas station, right?
Yeah.
But he has to go out and siphon gas out of their car, which is parked all the way at the end of the lot, so they can use it for the generator. And he asks her, he is like, by the way, I found an old ham radio. I just happened to find, after a million years at Pops, I just happened to stumble across the old ham radio back there. You go back here and test that out and see if you can find anybody on it. She's like, sure. Yeah. What was happening? Back at the casino, you know, what's a veggie? Veggie are banging it out. They get down to their skivvies under the watchful eye of the Ram's portrait. You know, he after Veronica says maybe they shouldn't have broke up, you know. But it's kind of short-lived because after they have this conversation about how they're turning into their parents and they're each other's consolation prize, and it kind of...
I thought that was a pretty good scene for... I don't
grown
like...
up thing.
Veronica is always the worst of these plot lines, and Reggie, who needs them. But, like, that scene really did work for me of, like, him recognizing... he's like, I'm nothing like my mom. He's like, no, you're like your dad.
Yeah.
And it's saying we're all someone's second choice. Like, you know, you would have rather went with Archie. Like, I recognize, like, it was very insightful for someone as dumb as Reggie. So I appreciated that scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was not hilarious. I thought, at least they didn't just, they started off this hookup with a real brushing off of their breaking up, and I was like, are they just going to sweep all this under the rug? No, they had an adult conversation about it and decided, nope, we're going to.
That's why it stuck out like a sore thumb.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It was a mature conversation on this show.
Yeah, it was one of those scenes I didn't have to stop and put down every little detail. I was like, I'm just going to listen to this conversation, and it was interesting.
I guess if you eat that many Subway sandwiches with a guy,
you don't want him watching you, you know.
Yeah.
Every time you look, you think, is he going to want a bite of my sandwich?
Right.
Oh, so he's pretty crystal clear, he said. He's leaving. Kevin's in the school lounge grading papers, reminiscing about Fox Forest escapades. When Moose shows up.
Wow.
And I always say, I had a moose.
Yeah.
We needed to spice things up, and he is the new gym teacher. Or PE instructor, they like to be called, and I try to get my labels correct.
There was something, like, it took me a long time to trust this scene that it was even real.
Yeah.
Like,
then they throw it off.
Dreamlike, or like
at one point,
he was manifested by the
just
mist
out of nowhere.
Like,
why would he show up at the school at night in the middle of the fog?
Right.
It was weird.
So I haven't seen any more episodes in case there is a twist, but it didn't seem even real to me.
Don't tell us. If the clumpster comes walking in, we know it's a dream. Come true. At the apartment, Fangs and TT plan out what they're going to say to Kevin about raising baby Anthony. And the lights go out. We're going to have to light some candles. Back at the school, Kevin lit some candles for another couple, him and Moose. Moose asked Kevin if he got back with Fangs. He says, no, but I am in a custody battle with them, and gives no more information, nor does Moose ask.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what? I feel like you would ask a question here. What are you talking about? We were a throuple. There's a lot of baggage there. You might want to talk about it.
Moose was there for one thing.
Yes. He got fired from the trucking company after the Lonely Highway closed. We should have seen him coming. Once the Lonely Highway closed, mooses were everywhere on that thing. And now he's living with his dad, who got out of prison for... He apologizes. Get it out. I'm sorry. For bailing on Kevin after his dad dressed up as the Gargoyle King while they were having sex for the first time. Remember that, guys? Kevin's like, yes, I will never forget that. Oh, shoot. I was like, that's right.
Yeah.
If you had told me who was the Gargoyle King, I never would have said Moose's dad. I don't. What?
Turns out that tracks.
They want to hook up, so Kev texts Fangs that he can't make it because of the fog. Oh.
Who's going to eat all these Tostitos we put out?
Yeah. So, Fangs says Kevin bails on things. He bailed on their marriage. Judd got the gas just fine, turns out. Fog outside we thought would swallow him up or do something to him. No problem. Which was an odd twist. The boys hook up. Supposedly, Kev goes to wash up and the school is foggy inside. It was a dream. He wakes up a little scared and Moose holds him close and the chair and it was, I don't know what that was about. Why there was a dream, what happened.
They did hook up, they didn't hook up.
I don't know whether they did. Back at Thornhill, dinner is served. A scrumptious meal, finally. There are lots of candles, of course.
No, Thornhill's going to win the candle battle.
Oh, yeah. Tall, red ones. This was definitely the best candles going on. I meant to point out that at the Babylonium, they lit 1 million candles in the casino and then Then they went upstairs
Yeah.
and lit a million more candles. I was like, that's right. That's how you do it. You got to do it. Let's go. Cheryl accuses Nunzi of foul play when she sees her looking at Julian the doll and picks up a candlestick. And what's she do, Jordan? Wangs her with the candlestick in the parlor. Oh. Doug fires up the generator. Mumsy wakes up. Cheryl raises her body temperature because she's pyrokinetic.
Yes.
Brings it up to 112, then 120 something, then 140. Her blood's boiling. I think you'd die. Cheryl says that she was, I mean, come on. She was the maiden and Mumsy was the dragon, but now Cheryl is both. And I couldn't follow any of this. And Mumsy is going to feel the dragon's flames.
Not a great metaphor. Cheryl's usually so good with words.
Yeah. I was listening intently. It made no sense to me. But Mumsy says she brought letters from Heather, Cheryl's sapphic best friend from junior high. Did we know Heather? Had we ever seen Heather?
Not to this point, no.
This is just a new pulled
There
out
was
of
mention of her. But I don't think we ever seen her.
Yes. She has talked about her a lot about you know, being her first girlfriend or love interest or whatever. So
may Mephistopheles have mercy on your soul if you're lying to me, mother.
That's exactly what she said.
That's right. At Pops, Tab uses the radio to tell people on the lonely highway, if there's any mooses out there, we have a safe spot for you at Pops.
Now
we got power and food and everything.
We know the lonely highway shut down.
Right.
So
you're lost on it though. Maybe you're sundown.
That could be. Coming from a sundown town.
You got to drive on the highway that's closed or not. Mumsy brings Cheryl some garden rose tea while she cries reading Heather's letters. So I paused it, of course, and I read a letter upside down. But there was a lot of things on the screen, and I could not get hardly anything clear. But I did read one thing up. It was like she wrote one little thing about a memory of her and Cheryl listening to records on a phonograph in her room. But that's, nothing special. I couldn't find anything special. Did you guys see anything or even attempt that?
No.
It was tough. There wasn't any way to see it. That was the point where I was like, I would look this up, but I'm afraid I'd get spoiled for future episodes, so I didn't. Sister Blossom wants Cheryl to forgive her trespasses. That's what she came. This is the unfinished business. The fog is gone in the morning. Kev is in the sex ed classroom, and he calls Fangs to work things out. He's got a new lease on life for some reason all of a sudden. And he had an epiphany, he tells him, and he says, I think we can work this out. More parents better. Fangs like, screw that.
Good on Fangs.
I'll see you in court. I don't want to be half a dad. And I was like, yeah, I mean, they kind of had one conversation like, why are we really including this guy in this? Like, it's like that was a sex throuple and we had a baby and he just gets to be this. And that was fine if he was going to be nice before, but he was an a-hole and up Percival Pickens' butt. And it's like you don't get to be a part. You have proved yourself to be too big of a jerk to have any part of raising my kid, as far as I'm concerned. Otherwise, I could see them working this out. But I'm with Fangs on this.
Yeah.
Screw off, buddy. We're not your whims of which way the wind blows here, Kev. Sorry, I got really invested. Veronica looks at her dad's portrait and gets on the intercom to ask Jay, can't remember who Jay is, to bring her some butcher paper, string, and masking tape. She's got something to wrap up. Well, the fog was going. While it was going on, the Council of Four, sans Tabitha, met and appointed Percival Pickens as mayor now for some reason. It totally made no sense. They just made him mayor in the dead of night. Yeah.
Just a throwaway line. Oh, by the way, he's the mayor now.
Just the Thunder was like, got all worked up because they were going to have a meeting. So she had her own meeting. And they accomplished nothing. Meanwhile, she made a new mayor. She collected enough signatures to ratify the council's endorsement. And Jug says, all hail Dictator Pickens. So much for the coup d'etat. Tab brings up finally about the bomb. She confesses that she did stop the bomb. And Jughead didn't lose his hearing. And he couldn't read minds. And Percival still won. And nuclear winter happened in every scenario. And I was like, man, some big time Avengers Endgame vibes here. Yeah. She saw 1,384 scenarios. I don't know the significance of that at all. And we only beat him in 2 of those scenarios.
I was looking for Doctor Strange in the
to hold up 2
there.
fingers. But in every scenario, Jughead dies.
That's
and
not
you
good.
realize that's who she was talking about earlier. What's she going to do when she loses him? He says, that's grim. It's grim.
Again, like, this ain't my first rodeo. I've been prophesized to die before.
He's like, it's not the first time I've been
Riverdale,
destined to die. The end game now. And at Archie's, they take that pregnancy test, look at the results, credits. So we'll have to find out if we're going to have a senior Archie situation on our hands. I predict yes, because this stuff's we're starting to get in the end game, and why not have another baby? Maybe Kev.
Man, they've never done. They've gone all this time. They've never done like the Lil Archies. Like those are always the comics.
Yeah, that would be great if he named him Lil Archie. That was what he should name him.
So we have like each of them. See them each as a little
amazing, like a little Muppet Babies version of everybody. That'd be great. I'm kind of excited to see what happens next. They do these detailed things and then have huge things happen off screen. It's really odd. But
they make sure we all know where the candles came from, and it's like, who's mayor? I don't know, whatever. New mayor.
Who dis? But
well, as someone that has watched ahead, I will say, I think you guys are gonna really. I think you're gonna like the end of the ending of because there's several episodes. I mean, it's gonna building up a little bit.
Oh, that's
the ending of this season. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
We're. I think this is a sure bet.
Yeah.
We're not worried about it. Last time there was pancakes and strongman competition, pancake boxes. I can't wait to see what happens this time. I'm hoping a new box, or somebody uses the VCR up at Pops that's been sitting there. I want to see somebody pop a tape in there. That's the excitement I'm looking. Oh, that's all I got.
Good stuff.
Fun time. Always count on the day.
I didn't notice that the score in places sounded kind of synthy.
Yeah.
Like John Carpenter, The Fog, like that 70s kind of. They put a little bit of that synth music to give a John Carpenter.
Yeah, there was a couple times I was like, wait, there's a little gravitas to this scene as opposed to the previous one. It's not, I'm like paying a little more attention. This is the important time travel stuff when they're talking about.
So it was definitely riffing The Mist, Stephen King story, and The Fog, the John Carpenter movie.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
It's good.
The Dale.
All right, until next time, light all the candles that you own, siphon some gas, and Keep the power running, because we'll be back soon.
Never know when a moose is going to come walking in.
Until then, I'm Jordan Lowe.
Cliff Barnes.
I'm sad. Bye forever.
Ka-Pow, the pop cultured podcast, is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Sounds, music, and clips played during the podcast are property of copyright holders. All original content is property of www.udownwithkpp.com. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe and leave a comment. Ka-Pow, the pop cultured podcast, can be found on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podbean, Spotify, and wherever podcasts can be found. You can connect with us through social media on Facebook, YouTube, at the Ka-Pow Podcast on Twitter, or email the show, Ka-Pow, the pop cultured podcast @gmail.com. If you really want to go the extra mile, join our Patreon at patreon.com/udownwithkpp for special content and access to Patreon-only benefits. We are grateful for anyone who chooses to contribute, but please know that most of our content will remain free. So please continue to like, comment, and share. Well, I was looking at the schedule for the for Blossom and Star Lake.
I just did that a couple days ago. I was driving the ball game. I'm usually listening to a podcast, but I was like, I'm cranking some tunes. This is a nice day. I got the windows down, so I'm cranking some tunes. And I was like, I need some freaking music therapy. I need I need to hit a concert. I try to hit a concert every year.
Yeah,
I've seen a bazillion. I was like, so I started looking it up, and I almost bought Weezer tickets for 2 weeks from now.
Yep.
And I mean, like, I really almost clicked it. We saw them like 3 or 4 years ago, and they were back at Blossom, but then right before I did it, I realized Nick is going to be at the beach. He won't be back till the next day. I was like, God, I'm glad I didn't buy him. But I did score tickets. Nick's first concert, like 13 years ago, was a band that we exclusively, not very many people I know are big fans of this band, but Cake.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's a top 5 band for me, right? And Nick, like, we love them, just unconditionally. So they're finally touring over here again, and
where at?
Actually, they're going to be in Cincinnati,
Columbus.
One day, Columbus. I got to go Cincinnati, Columbus, Cleveland. It's like a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Cincinnati, Columbus, Cleveland in September. We're going to the Cleveland one. It's at a place I did not even know existed. It's called Jacob's Pavilion, and it is a small amphitheater type place that only holds 5,000. I mean, it's super small, and they pack them in there. I mean, it's I don't know. There's basically, when I go to a concert, I get a seat. Like, I'm not a lawn guy. I never because I don't want to have to get. I want to come in at the last second, and have great seats.
Yeah.
I'm not camp out all day to try to do something. I want to be like, I paid to be here. You serfs that waited here all day. Like, I'll just still go sit in front of you. But anyway, and that's the only place really that out of the 3 concerts that I could even get any kind of reserved seat was the one in Cleveland. But it's still pretty much no holds barred there. But the reviews are good for the place. I would watch them I would have sat on the lawn at any of these to watch them, but we were definitely going to go as soon as I saw it. Snagged those, but Cake. We saw them at Palace Theater in Pittsburgh in like 2011 or something, and it's freaking great.
I wouldn't mind seeing. There's I think it was the lineup was The Offspring, Simple Plan, somebody else.
I would see The Offspring.
Yeah,
that's like the combos of bands. Like, if it's more than one band, I'm almost turned off by their. I would rather be the one I like than two bands, and I don't like the other one because I just won't go at all. Like there's a band I love called Manchester Orchestra.
Yeah.
And like there's an album of theirs that I just listen to constantly, and I think they're from England, but they're here touring. They're touring with Jimmy Eat World. I don't give a shit about Jimmy Eat World, and I think they're the headliners, Jimmy. And I'm just like, no, there wasn't really a convenient date anyway, but Nick and I both like them. But yeah, gotta find a concert. Yeah, I'm sure I've asked you this before, but Jordan, that I know Cliff's been to concerts, but it's like, I feel like you don't have a record of going to a lot of concerts. You're not even like I expect you to go like some good folksy country of some kind or something.
I saw Willie Nelson.
Okay, there, that makes sense.
Nelsonville Music Festival a couple years ago, and Shooter Jennings was at.
Yeah, this is exactly what I would have said that you went and saw.
What's that restaurant in Parkersburg? Shoot, I can't remember the name of it, but it was like. The concert was outside on like the patio. It was like January. There was a snowstorm going on. It was 2 degrees outside.
Wow.
And they had put a little like tarp around it.
Yeah.
I was like, if it was, it was only like a couple hundred people and Shooter in the whole building. I'm like, if this was literally anyone else, I would leave immediately. My hands were numb. It was awful, but also kind of great.
I almost got Brandy Carlisle tickets, but I can't justify it anymore. I've seen her in Pittsburgh, and she's playing in Pittsburgh. I think again it's in August, and I was like, could go there. I was like, I saw her play right here at People's Bank Theater. I can't go again. Once they've played here, I can't go somewhere. You have to come back here again. Like, it was amazing that when she played there, and now I just can't go somewhere else now.
I don't mind. I mean, weather's, of course, unpredictable, but when you're buying tickets like that, but I enjoy the lawn seats at
that's just it. I don't want to have to worry about that.
Yeah.
I've been to multiple concerts at Blossom where I sat under that cover and watched a great concert while people were out in a torrential downpour, and they had put so much more effort into this than me, and it was all ruined for them.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, don't do that to yourself. I don't have enough time to roll the dice on these concerts. I was able to get this day to go to this thing. It better happen.
My only thing about it is I think I've had a better the best ones I've been to, I've had lawn seats, like the most fun.
I have been on the lawn I saw Aerosmith there out on the lawn, and it is fun out there if somebody went early.
Right.
Put some blankets down, and I get to show up, roll in. I'm like, here we are. Hey, this is the part. That's fine, but I don't want to have to go stake anything out or whatever.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, if I'm traveling, I got the time. I don't mind it.
I also want to watch. I like to watch the musicians play, and you can't see shit out there.
No,
it's great to listen to,
really.
but I can. But I want to see it. I want to see it.
Yeah, I've bought the seats too. I've done both, both ways. But some of the best ones I've been to, as far as just fun, have been lawn. According
if you got a good group and stuff,
and you have good weather, which
you never know. Have the weather.
You never know. So, anyways, I don't know how we got on that.
You said it. You brought it up.
Oh yeah, that's right. I don't know. I say I want to do all this stuff every summer, and I'm lucky if I do a quarter of it by the time summer's over.
I'm doing it all.
I did see Weezer. When Jared was in college, Weezer was in Columbus, and I wasn't a huge fan at that point. But Tenacious D opened for them. Like,
that would be awesome. Oh my god!
I just want to go see Tenacious D. So.
Yeah.
I was there for the opener mainly, and the only thing I remember, there was a super drunk guy in front of me, and Tenacious D. There's some point in a song where they go, "It's Tenacious D time," and I like yelled that with him. And this guy turned around to me with the biggest grin, like someone knew the lyrics of the song, and he like patted me on the knee. He's like, "Good job, buddy! That was great."
He made your life.